Hello guys, so it's been a while. I I don't even know how to speak in front of a camera anymore. So it's been a while since I filmed my last YouTube video, and I haven't been reading a lot. I've not read a book since the last video I posted, but I have been buying books. That hasn't stopped, which is such a bad habit to break. And I've accumulated some books, or I've had some books on my shelves that I've been wanting to read for a while that I just haven't gotten around to. So far I only have 8 books in my, well, I have a lot of books in my TBR, but there's 8 books specifically that I really want to get to 2025 and stop putting them aside for other books. So yeah, maybe I'll inspire you to actually get to the books that you've been meaning to read for the longest time and you just haven't. So the first book I actually bought a couple days ago, and it's called All the Beautiful in the World by Patrick Bringley. And this is supposed to be about the Met. It's about a guy who is having troubles in his life and in his job, so he decides to quit and start working at the Met, and his job there changes his whole life. And yeah, that's what this is about. And I actually just got back from New York. We spent a couple weeks there, and I fell in love. I've always loved New York, but this trip just made me love it even more. I have those memories still very vivid in my head that I think reading this book about the Met is gonna make me feel like I'm actually there, and I get to relive the whole trip all over again. So I'm really excited about this one. Okay, so the next book is Wotakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku, and this is by Fujita. Babe, how do you say this? How do you pronounce this? Wotakoi? Wotakoi?
Wotakoi. 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 Yeah, Wotakoi. Wotakoi.
The next book I want to read is Wotakoi, and Wotakoi, and I actually never was interested in reading anime until I got together with Zach, and he's the one that always watched anime growing up, and he kind of inspired me to read anime. I think the first book I read was One Piece, Volume 1, 2, and 3. And I think the only way that I was able to get into it was because Zach and I were taking turns reading it to each other, and it was really fun. So since then, it just inspired me to read more things. Rona Pages, I think that's her name on YouTube. I heard her rave about this one. It's very cutesy, so that is the reason why I decided to pick this up, and it's been on my shelf for months, and I still have not gone around to reading it. So that's why I included it in this video, because I need to read this one. If it's not this one, it's gonna be Spy Family. I've had that one for a long time too, so hold me accountable. I need to read this book this year. All right, so wow, did you guys see that? So the next book is Stephen King on writing. I love Stephen King. He is my favorite writer of all time. I know he's kind of controversial. I know some people don't like the way he writes or his stories or just his like topics of the books, but I enjoy him, and I think it's more of a sentimental thing. I grew up reading Stephen King, so no, to each their own, right? So this is a memoir by Stephen King, and he just basically talks about how he got into writing, what motivated him to like write all the books he's written, and it's just a masterclass on writing. So yeah, I love Stephen King, and I want to get inside his head because I'm a psycho. So yeah, I want to read this so bad. Also, I saw a video of Jack Edwards read this, and it was even more of a push to read this. I'm a follower, okay? I follow people. I'm easily influenced. This book, oh my goodness, I've always gone back and forth with this book because I just really don't read this genre, and I kind of want to push myself into it and get into it, you know, get into the genre. So I think that this book is just gonna be the perfect way to do it, and that is Haunting Adeline. Since it is my first spicy book, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that if people see me out on the street or even here on the internet, they're gonna be like, I know what type of girl you are. You know, you're reading a very graphic book, but who cares? I really want to read this. I've heard great things. You know what? I've heard very mixed things about it. I heard some people really like it, some other people hate it. So I want to see where I fall with this book. And I want to see if it's actually really spicy, because I heard that there's trigger warnings for this, so it just sounds very obscure. I just want to see how bad it is. So yeah, Haunting Adeline, I can't wait to let you guys know if I really love this book or if I completely hated it. Okay, the next book is The Three Body Problem, and oh my god, I went down a rabbit hole with this book. The only reason I picked it up was because I was watching Stephanie Sue on YouTube, and she was talking about the whole dispute that was happening with Netflix and all these, like, what are they called? Like, companies that were fighting over the rights of this book, you know, to bring it to television. And I went down a rabbit hole reading about the author and just like the story of how this book even happened. So I was perplexed. I didn't even know this book existed and that it caused so much controversy. So yeah, I am very, very intrigued. I really want to read it. I think this is the type of book that I kind of feel like I'm too dumb to read, but only because I read articles saying that this is Jeff Bezos' favorite book and Elon Musk's favorite book. So I'm just like, wait, am I smart enough to read this? So we'll find out. Okay, so I had to move you a little bit because the sun was just not working in my favor. But anyways, the next book that I really want to get to this year is The Panchico Parlor by Elisa Shua Dusapin. It's A Panchico Parlor by Elisa Shua Dusapin, and she is a French author. I love reading literature from other countries, and I am obsessed with Japanese literature. Love it so much. But I think that I needed to kind of broaden my horizons, so I picked this up in New York at the Strand. Actually, I visited. Oh my god, I don't even. Gorgeous place. So yeah, anyways, I picked this up, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this book is about a girl whose family migrates to Korea. Just talks about her life there. That's what basically this book is going to be about, I think. I mean, I'm sure it's going to have a deeper meaning, but yeah, it just sounded right up my alley. And also winner of the 2021 National Book Award. If I see that on a book, like I said, I'm easily influenced, so I'm gonna pick it up. Also, it's really small, and look at the font. It's pretty big. Also, it's filled with little trinkets from my trip. And I've had this in my purse because I'm just like, I'm gonna get to it, and I just keep putting stuff inside, and now it's just full of little postcards and bookmarks and full of things, and I still have not gotten around to reading it. So that is going to change this year. This one I'm really excited about. So it's Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. And oh my goodness, I think I've mentioned this in another video of books that I really want to get, like books that I want to read in 2024, and I never did. I never read it. So this year, please, I want to read this book. I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking to my future self. Mary, read this book. I loved the first book. I think it was like One Dark Window. I loved One Dark Window. It was so good. I finished it like in a day, in a couple of hours. It was just, I don't know, it grabbed my attention really quick, and it was so fast, so easy to read. The plot line was just really good. Was it the best book I've ever read? No, but it was very good. And I have not gotten to the second part. The first book left on a cliffhanger, and I want to know what happens. And I know some things are going to change in the second one. So, come on. I don't know what I'm waiting for. So yeah, this is going to be, like I said, one of my priorities to read this year, because I want to read it before I forget what the first one was about, or all the details from the first book. And I don't want to have to reread the first book to read the second book. So I still remember some of the details from the first book. So that is why I want to get to this before I have to start all over again, because I don't want to do that. As much as I love the first book, I don't want to reread it again. So yeah. And the last book that I have with me is Just Kids by Patti Smith. I feel like I have seen this all over my Instagram, all over TikTok, all over Book Talk. This book has been everywhere and it must be for a reason. I just started getting into reading more memoirs and stuff. So I think the last one I read was The Glass Castle and I fell in love with that book. It made me cry my heart out. So I also was reading Down the Drain from, what's her name? I have it over there, sorry. Julia Fox. I haven't finished it, but I was in the middle of reading it and it was really good. So I think that this is a perfect book to add to my list of memoirs that I want to read. And yeah, people love this book, really love it, and I want to know what the hype is about. I know it's very like rock and roll. Go horns. I know it's all about like rock and roll and music and like her career and love life and stuff like that. So it just sounds great. It sounds, like I said, right up my alley, and it sounds like I'm gonna love it and maybe even cry. Who knows? I will let you guys know. Yeah, here are the books that I want to read this year. I think I just need to do a better job at actually sticking with my word and being accountable and doing what I want to do. I think that sometimes it's just really hard for me to actually just like sit down and enjoy my time and just open the book, and or I'll get like overwhelmed with how many books I have that I just never pick what I've been wanting to read. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm just gonna do a better job at prioritizing my books instead of buying more books. So yeah, those are all the books that I have for you guys today. Hope that I really get to them this year, just so I can like cross them off my list of books that I want to read. And I hope that I inspired you to actually just read the books that you have in your TBR instead of, you know, going out and buying more books and repeating the vicious cycle of buying and not reading, buying and not reading. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. I mean, no big deal if you don't. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!